Richard Hell is an American singer, songwriter, bass guitarist, and writer. Richard Hell was an innovator of punk music and fashion. He was one of the first to spike his hair and wear torn, cut and drawn-on shirts, often held together with safety pins. Malcolm McLaren, manager of the Sex Pistols, has credited Hell as a source of inspiration for the Sex Pistols' look and attitude, as well as the safety pin and graphics accessorized clothing that McLaren sold in his London shop, Sex. Hell was in several important, early punk bands, including Neon Boys, Television, and the Heartbreakers, after which he formed Richard Hell and the Voidoids. Their 1977 album Blank Generation influenced many other punk bands. Its title song was named one of the 500 songs that shaped rock by music writers in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame listing, and is ranked as one of the all-time top 10 punk songs by a 2006 poll of original British punk figures, as reported in the Rough Guide to Punk. Since the late 1980s, Hell has devoted himself primarily to writing, publishing 2 novels and several other books. He was the film critic for Black Book magazine from 2004 to 2006. Biography. Early life and career. Richard Hell grew up in Lexington, Kentucky, in the 1950s. His father, a secular Jew, was an experimental psychologist, researching animal behavior. He died when Hell was 7 years old. Hell was then raised by his mother, who came from Methodists of Welsh and English ancestry. After her husband's death, she returned to school and eventually became a professor. Hell attended the Sanford School in Delaware for 1 year, where he became friends with Tom Miller, who later changed his name to Tom Verlaine. They ran away from school together and were arrested in Alabama for arson and vandalism a short time later. Hell never finished high school, instead moving to New York City to make his way as a poet. In New York, he met fellow young poet David Giannini, and moved to Santa Fe, New Mexico for several months, where Giannini and Myers co-founded Genesis, Grasp. They used an Amvari typer with changeable fonts to publish the magazine. They began publishing books and magazines, but decided to go their separate ways in 1971, after which Hell created and published Books. Before he was 21, his own poems were published in numerous periodicals, ranging from Rolling Stone to the New Directions annuals. In 1971, along with Verlaine, Hell also published under the pseudonym Teresa Stern, a fictional poet whose photo was actually a combination of both his and Verlaine's faces in drag, superimposed over one another to create a new identity. The Neon Boys, Television, and the Heartbreakers. In 1972, Verlaine joined Hell in New York and formed the Neon Boys. In 1974, the band added a second guitarist, Richard Lloyd, and changed their name to Television. Television's performances at CBGB helped kickstart the first wave of punk bands, inspiring a number of different artists including Patti Smith, who wrote the first press review of Television for the Soho Weekly News in June 1974. She formed a highly successful band of her own, the Patti Smith Group. Television was one of the early bands to play at CBGB because their manager, Terry Ork, persuaded owner Hilly Crystal to book them to alongside the Ramones. They also built the club's first stage. Hell started playing his punk rock anthem, Blank Generation, during his time in Television. In early 1975, Hell parted ways with Television after a dispute over creative control. Hell claimed that he and Verlaine had originally divided the songwriting evenly, but that later Verlaine sometimes refused to play Hell's songs. Verlaine remained silent on the subject. Hell left Television the same week that Jerry Nolan and Johnny Thunders quit the New York Dolls. In May 1975, the three of them formed the Heartbreakers, not to be confused with Tom Petty's band, which adopted the same name the following year. After one show, Walter Lure joined the Heartbreakers as a second guitarist. Richard Hell and the Voidoids. In early 1976, Hell quit the Heartbreakers and started Richard Hell and the Voidoids with Robert Quine, Ivan Julian and Mark Bell. The band released 2 albums, though the second, Destiny Street, retained only Quine from the original group, with Naux on guitar and Friedmar on drums, and suffered from Hell's distractions, narcotics especially, during recording. Hell's best-known songs with the Voidoids included Blank Generation, Love Comes in Spurts, The Kid with the Replaceable Head, and Time. In 2009, the guitar tracks on Destiny Street were re-recorded and released as Destiny Street Repaired, with guitarists Julian, Mark Ribot and Bill Frisell playing with the original rhythm tracks. Also in 2009, Hell gave his blessing to the public access program Pancake Mountain to create an animated music video for The Kid with the Replaceable Head. It was the Voidoids' first and only official music video. The cut used for the animation appears on Hell's 2005 retrospective album, Spurts, The Richard Hell Story. Dim Stars in Hell's Books. Further Life. Hell's only other album release was as part of the band Dim Stars, for which he came out of retirement for a month in the early 1990s. Dim Stars featured guitarist Thurston Moore and drummer Steve Shelley from Sonic Youth, Gumball's guitarist Don Fleming, and Quine. They formed only to record the one album and one EP, both titled Dim Stars, and played one show in public, a WFMU benefit at the Ritz in Manhattan. Hell played bass, sang lead vocals and wrote the lyrics for the album. Hell also co-wrote and sang lead vocals on the song Nevermind by The Heads, a 1996 collaborative effort between 3 former members of Talking Heads. In 1996, Hell wrote a novel, Go Now, drawn largely from his own experiences. He released a collection of short pieces called Hot and Cold in 2001. His second novel, Godlike, was published in 2005 by Akashic Books as part of Dennis Cooper's Little House on the Bowery series. All 3 books were highly praised. Also published in 2005 was Rabbit Duck, a book of 13 poems written in collaboration with David Shapiro. Hell's non-fiction has been widely anthologized as well, including a number of appearances in Best Music Writing collections. Hell's archive of his manuscripts, tapes, correspondence, journals, and other documents of his life was purchased for $50,000 by New York University's Fallais Library in 2003. Hell has appeared in several low-budget films, most notably Susan Seidelman's Smithereens. Hell was married to Scandal's Patti Smith for 2 years during 1985–86, and they had a daughter, Ruby. Hell married Sheila Bevan in 2002. Discography. As Richard Hell and the Voidoids. Studio album 1977. Blank Generation. 1982. Destiny Street. Compilations and Lives 1989. Fun Hunt. 2009. Destiny Street Repaired. As Richard Hell. Studio album 1984. R.I.P. Compilations 2002. Time. 2005. Spurts. The Richard Hell Story. As Dim Stars 1992. Dim Stars. 1992. Dim Stars EP. Books. 1973. The Voidoid. 1973. Wanna Go Out. 1988. I Was a Spiral on the Floor. 1990. Artifact. Notebooks from Hell 1974–1980. No. 37. Hanu Main Books ISBN 0-937815339X. 1991. Across the Years. 1996. Go Now. Scribner ISBN 978-0-684-83277-7. 1998. Weather. Cos Editions ISBN 0-9666328-0X. 2001. Hot and Cold. Powerhouse Books. ISBN 1-57687-082-0. 2005. Sad Songs. 2005. Rabbit Duck. Repair. 2005. Godlike. Akashic Books. ISBN 1-888451-777. 2007. The Toilet Paper Columns. 2008. Psychops. JMC and GHB editions. 2008. ISBN 978-0-9795077-5. 2009. The Voidoid. 38th Street Publishers. ISBN 978-0-9818369-6. 2010. Disgusting. 2013. I Dreamed I Was a Very Clean Tramp. 2015. Massive Piss Love. Non-fiction. 2001 to 2014. Soft Skull Press. ISBN 978-1-59376-627-6. Filmography. 1978. Final Reward. 1980. Blank Generation. 1982. Smithereens. 1983. Geek Maggot Bingo. 1985. Desperately Seeking Susan. 1987. No Picnic. 1993. What About Me. 1998. Blind Light.